Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET how to add a jQuery horizontal slider bar and display the values in ASP.NET text box control. And here we got the output of that code, two text boxes, maximum salary and minimum salary, and the slide bar with the background color green. When I move the slider, notice the maximum salary is increasing up to 50,000, which is the limit I have set for the maximum salary. The minimum salary, if you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Notice in this source code page, I have just added a header tags h1 and h2 on horizontal line in this jQuery slider.aspx source page. Now after the horizontal line, I am adding one table control, table tr td the first td is a minimum salary. The second TD is for the slide bar, and the last TD is for the to display maximum salary value. I am adding here one text box control. Go to toolbox, come to the bottom, text box control. Just copy this text box and pasting at the maximum salary. I'm changing the text box ID is text minimum salary, and for the maximum salary ID is max salary. And I want to make this text box control read only. Read only is equals to true. True. Now in the table style width percentage. So second step is when we want to implement the jQuery script, we need the latest CD and jQuery links. For that, let's visit Google. Now in the Google search bar, I'm typing jQuery latest CD on Google. And from the search results, I'm selecting the hosted libraries. Click that one. In the contents, notice the jQuery option is there. Click that one. I'm choosing the latest snippet is 3.3.1. Just copy this one, and I'm adding below the title, and we need the two more snippets of jQuery, which is CSS and UI. And this time I'm choosing jQuery UI. Just copy this both snippets and paste here. Now we can able to access the jQuery classes and methods in this source code. Before adding the script, let's add the slide bar. For that I'm using div id is equals to slider, and I'm adding style for the slider, width 430 pixels. Now we'll write the script. I'm adding script tag dollar document dot ready function I'm closing this function. Now in this function I'm adding, declaring a variable div slider is equals to dollar. Between single quotes, I'm adding the slider ID, which is a div ID. Copy and paste here. Div slider dot slider method. I'm closing the slider. Now here I'm adding the slider attributes. The first attribute, I'm adding the range. I want to display true, comma, the minimum value of the slider, which is a starting value, 0, comma, the maximum value of the slider, I'm adding 50,000, comma, the next attribute is the values, colon, between square brackets I am adding the 0, comma 1. When a user moves a slider, the increment value will be the 1. Now I am adding the slide attribute, making the function event, comma UI, dollar. Between single quotes, I want to add those values, selected range values, into these text box controls. So I'm adding the first value, the text box ID of the minimum salary, hash dot val div slider dot slider function. Now in the slider function, I'm adding between single quotes, the first parameter is the values, comma, the first value is the minimum value, which is 0. Copy this one, paste here. Instead of 0, add 1, the text max salary. Up to here we have written the slider moving part. The next attribute I'm adding, comma, stop, function, event, comma, UI. When a user stops the slider bar, and those values will be displayed in this text box control. Dollar, between single quotes, text minimum salary, hash dot val method, UI dot the values, 0, semicolon, copy here and paste here. This one is the 1, max salary. That's it, we have done the coding part, but I want to add a little animation for the slider. Dollar, between single quotes, hash the div ID slider dot animate function. I'm adding the background color of the slider, color, C capital here, between double quotes, green, comma, and the width of the slider 500. The second parameter I'm adding the delay property, which I'm giving 1000, semicolon. That's it. We have done all the coding part. It's time to test the results on the Google Chrome. Google Chrome. And here we got the output of that code. 2 text boxes, maximum salary and minimum salary, and the slide bar with the background color green. When I move the slider, see, notice the maximum salary is increasing up to 50,000, which is the limit I have set for the maximum salary. The minimum salary